So prices have increased, and I'm not talking about Dogecoin. What's going on, fam? It's your boy Baby Broly back at it with another video, and today we have a topic that we absolutely have to discuss. Many of you guys have reached out to me on Instagram asking me for my opinion in regards to the recent price changes of PSA. Now, if you guys don't know who PSA is the Professional Sports Authenticators. They are arguably the #1 grading service in the entire world, and right below that is Beckett, CGC, and many other low-end grading services that are trying to make a come up. And as of yesterday, PSA ended up changing their prices dramatically. Now, I know I'm a little late to the party, and I do apologize for that, but this is a topic I absolutely have to discuss on the channel. So this news alone has caused an outrage in the trading card community. Whether it's Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, sports cards, it doesn't matter what cards, everybody is outraged, and I've been seeing a lot of pissed off people, and I do not blame you guys. I'm a little irritated myself with these price changes because what I'm about to show you are price changes that are absolutely absurd. Like, we kind of saw this coming due to the increased prices with Beckett, but we didn't realize that PSA was going to increase their prices at pretty much a 100% jump from where the prices were before. So here's an article that I found online, and the title of this is Increased Prices as well as Crossover Suspensions. So not only did they increase their prices, they're suspending all crossovers. If you guys don't know what a crossover is, it's pretty much when you cross over from one grading service to another. So if I had a card that was graded by Beckett and I wanted to get it graded by PSA, I would submit it to PSA for a crossover so that way they would take it out of the BGS or the Beckett slab and they would put it in one of the PSA slabs. And in this article it reads, under an ongoing crush of submissions and watching secondary market prices for its cards explode, PSA has raised its prices for trading card grading and authentication. The rumored move had been the subject of online discussions late last week, and some customers rushed to input submissions over the weekend. The changes weren't trivial. Many of the new prices levels represent a 100% increase in costs to collectors and dealers. This is where it gets out of hand. When those prices were put out there to the public yesterday and I saw it for the first time, I absolutely lost my shit. I'm gonna be quite frank. I lost my shit, guys. And I know many of you guys were probably just as frustrated, just as pissed off as I was. Now, some people might ask me, like my friends and my family, they'll be like, why are you pissed off about this? Why does this affect you? I like to treat myself not only as a collector, but as an investor as well. And not a lot of people are like that. Some people literally put all their chips in one basket and they focus on investing. And then there's people that actually enjoy this hobby like I do, and they submit cards to get graded for the simple fact that they're going to put it in their collection. So of course this is going to affect, you know, two groups of people in a different manner. Who is it going to affect more, I will discuss here later in the video, but let's go over these new service prices. All right, so right here, as you guys can see, the value is now $20 a card. Need I remind you, it used to be $10 a card. So that is doubled the price. To include economy, regular, and express, all have doubled in price. Economy used to be about $20 to $25, regular was $50, and express was $75. So now, for the price of what it used to be, one card, you are now paying for two cards essentially. Like, I just recently submitted a card, or actually I submitted 6 cards back in January with the regular service, which cost me at $50 a card, $300. If I was to submit it now, it would cost me $600. Just think about how absurd that sounds. To submit 6 cards at the regular service tier, it would cost me $600. Now the Super Express level has changed as well, but it did not double. Super Express used to be $200, so they increased it to $300 a card. Trust me guys, I know why you guys are pissed off, all right? I know why you guys are pissed off, but I try to look at things in the most optimistic way possible. There could be some added benefit to this, but I think that PSA as a business had to make this choice for reasons that we won't know of. Because like I said, guys, this is a business. Businesses are going to be businesses. They're going to scale back and they're going to look at how can they be more effective and, increase their margins. Because at the end of the day, a business is all about making money, and this is a business. We submit our cards, the cards that we deem as a hobby, to a business that focuses on making money. So this was pretty much going to happen at some point. Looking at how backed up PSA has been, how backed up Beckett has been, and the demand for this hobby has grown at an outrageous rate over the past year, and they just can't keep up with the demand. And instead of stopping it when it was getting crazy, instead of stopping limiting certain service tiers, they have stooped to this drastic level where they have to increase prices. Now, how is this going to affect us, the guys that enjoy the trading card game, us that enjoys investing, and us that enjoys collecting? So in theory, the only thing that's going to affect the average investor is the decrease in your margin. So I'm going to use the regular service as an example. Now, if you as the investor has a $100 card and you're going to submit a card at $100 being the new regular service fee, and your expectation is that you're going to get a grade 8 or greater, that you are going to make $600 plus, the only difference is it's going to change the amount of profit you're going to make. So instead of paying $50 for that regular service, you are now paying $100, so you can, scale back and take that $50 out of your profit margins. Now, I personally believe that the people that are going to be affected the most are these collectors. I like to deem myself as a collector as well, because as much as I invest into Yu-Gi-Oh!, I actually use that money just to reinvest it back into Yu-Gi-Oh! So it's not necessarily I'm using it as a monetary gain for other means. I'm actually funneling the profits back into Yu-Gi-Oh!, back into this channel. And the collectors are going to be hit the most, because collectors, when you guys submit cards to get graded by PSA, by Beckett, or whatever grading service, you guys are not expecting a monetary gain out of this. The only monetary gain you're expecting out of it is that you're going to put that card into your collection and it's going to remain there for the long run. So by increasing the prices of the service levels, you are pretty much at a loss, because if you were going to submit a low-end card at $10 a card before these prices increased, so be it, it's $10 a card. But now that the prices have increased and doubled, now you are having to spend $20 a card. That might change your methods. That might change, the way you submit cards. Instead of sending 10 cards, 20 cards, you might actually drop the amount of cards you send, or you're going to look at the higher cards being the more the focus of sending it to PSA instead of sending your lower end cards. So that, in theory, it kind of sucks. It does suck, because a lot of us that do collect and are not expecting to flip a card after it's been graded, we are just expecting to bring that card back in a beautiful slab and keep it in our collection. That is all we're trying to reap of the benefits. But now that the prices are increased, it definitely does suck. So I understand the frustration. I understand the amount of anger that has been fueling this community as of lately. because it does suck, guys. So I understand the frustration, and I understand why a lot of you guys are pissed off. Now we can sit here and we can blame each other. Oh, investors are ruining the market, collectors are ruining the market, blah, 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 blah. All that arguing isn't going to solve anything. We saw the problem from the start when you would submit cards and you would have huge high turnarounds. And we saw this problem from the start, so we can't act like we didn't see this coming. Because when we would submit cards, like a 30-day turnaround turned into a 6-month turnaround, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And now it just adds a little bit more frustration that we have to pay a higher price for these services, and we're probably going to be waiting the same amount of time. But until PSA gives us another update, nothing is going to be clear. So the next thing I want to cover is that, is there a benefit to this? All right, before I actually go into that, I just want to say this is my opinion. There's nothing in writing. There's nothing out there stating the things that I'm about to say. All right, just my opinion, guys. But I feel like it is something to look at to keep us optimistic about this whole situation. So one of the added benefits could be that there's going to be possibly faster turnarounds. It seems as though their focus is going to be shifted towards the higher end service tiers like regular, express, super express, and above, making those the priority. Another added benefit is we could possibly see more accurate grades, because by adding the increased prices, this might take some pressure off of them and they will feel less rushed to get the job done. It is in human nature that rushing leads to mistakes, and those mistakes actually lead to you ending up getting a grade that you did not expect to get. And it's usually on the bitter end of the spectrum. Like, I couldn't even imagine what their offices look like when they were getting floods of submissions left and right, and they weren't able to keep up with what was going on. I could not imagine like what it would look like. Like in my head, if it doesn't look like this when I walk into their office, then that is a problem. Also, the increase in prices of each service may discourage people from submitting lower end cards. That will allow PSA to catch up to the demand. Lastly, I think that graded cards could potentially go up in value due to the added complexity of getting your cards graded. Once upon a time, grading cards was accessible to anybody and everybody. All you had to do was go to their website, fill out the form, and send your cards in to get graded. But considering that the prices have gone up, it just makes it a lot more complex to submit your cards, because now you're thinking about the numbers. You're thinking about, if I get, you know, this card graded, is it going to come back what I expected to get? And all of these end up flooding your brain, and you're going to be a lot more discouraged to send cards in, and it's just not as accessible as it was before. And you guys already know, if there's one thing that people absolutely despise, is waiting. That's why companies like Amazon are so successful, because they've shifted their focuses on customers and ensuring that they get their products in a timely manner. And because people are going to feel less confident in sending their cards to get graded, graded cards could go up in value depending on the demand for that specific card. Now, I know, guys, that last benefit isn't going to benefit everybody. It's definitely going to benefit the investor, but not so much the collector. Like I said, guys, these are all my opinions and things that we can be optimistic about. I'm just giving you guys that information to keep your head on a swivel, because at the end of the day, it sucks. It absolutely sucks. And you know, we can sit here and be pissed off about it, but it is what it is. Like I said in the beginning of the video, this is a business, and we submit our hobbies to this business, and they're of course going to be focused on making money and doing everything that they can to benefit themselves, because they know that we're going to submit cards. They know that we're going to continue to give in, and it just is what it is. And they're just trying to take advantage of the platform they have in front of them. If they feel like they're working harder than they need to, or they're working harder than before, they're going to try to compensate that, instead of trying to hire everybody off the street to try to grade cards. You can hire so many people, it's not going to change anything. That's just going to lead into more catastrophic issues like getting cards graded lower than they should. You're literally grabbing a guy off the street, paying him $16 an hour, training him for a day, and expecting him to grade a base set 1999 Charizard first edition Shadowless. Just think about that, guys. That's scary. But like I said, guys, this was inevitable. The only thing I did not see coming was the dramatic change in prices. I was expecting maybe a regular going from $50 to $75. That would have made a little bit more sense. But considering that they jumped up everything at a 100% rate, kind of threw me off. And that's what I guess pissed me off a little bit. But like I said, guys, it's okay. Hopefully something good comes out of this. Hopefully in the next 6 months, PSA updates us and considers changing their prices once they're caught up. I don't know. Hopefully they don't get too comfortable with these prices, and you know, we have something to look forward to here in the future of grading cards. All right, guys, I hope this video helped you just a little bit, or at least calm your nerves. I will say on my end that by talking to you guys about this topic, it helped relieve some weight off of my shoulders. Make sure you guys drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit your post notifications so that way you guys are notified when I upload. I do have a PSA submission on the way back, so I am super excited to unveil the grades that we got. I was lucky I submitted before these price changes, so I don't know necessarily if I'm going to submit cards here later in the future. I might, but it's really going to depend on what I submit. And I will say, as a tip, if you guys are going to submit cards and you guys are trying to be frugal with your money, make sure you guys inspect your cards through a microscope. All right, through a microscope, so that way you guys ensure you guys are getting the grades that you want. I will leave it at that. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Don't stop.